Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k, and it's battle report time again. We've got the Space Wolves, my new and improved painted up list, taking on the Death Guard. The Death Guard is the same list from the last time the Space Wolves faced off. We thought for the Death Guard to truly get it over the Space Wolves, they're going to need to do it against them with their updated rules. If they can win, they truly are the champions. Alright, so I'm here with Jakey Boy again. We're back at it. We're doing a 1500 point battle report. I'm going to be heading up the Wolves. I'll run you through what's in it, and then we'll go through the Death Guard and we'll get it started. Alright, let's start off with one of the newest additions. This is my Primaris Ragnar Blackmane. A little bit of chopping and changing, posing, heads, kit bashing, all that good stuff, and that's what we've come up with. So he's one of the HQs. Then over here we've got Najal Stormcaller. I always get corrected on these names, so don't be too harsh on me. We got Bjorn the Fell-Handed. He will be the Warlord today. Then for troops, we've got one squad of Intercessors with just bolt rifles and a power fist on the Sergeant. Here we've got Grey Hunters. We've got the 5 at the back with their bolters and chainswords. On the pack leader, he's got his power fist here. We do have a guy that's got a plasma gun. And then at the front, we've got the Terminator, Wolfguard pack leader. He's got his Stormbolter and Power Fist. Then over here, we've got our Blood Claws. So we've got one with a Flamer, 3 with Chainsword and bolt pistols. We've got a pack leader with a Power Sword and a pistol. And then we've got a Wolfguard pack leader with 2 Wolf Claws in his Terminator armor. So those 3 make up my battalion. Then, for elites, we've got a Wolfen Dreadnought with Blizzard Shield, Frost Axe or Great Frost Axe, and he's also got a Heavy Flamer. Going to Fast Attack after that. Just finished painting these up today, the 2 at the back. Still got a bit to do on the basing. We've got a 5-man unit of Thunder Wolves. The leader, the pack leader, has a Thunder Hammer and a Storm Shield, and all the 4 others have a Wolf Claw and Storm Shield. So I've chosen to go with the Wolf Claw. I think it's a great weapon, so we'll soon find out. Alright, coming up the back to heavy support, we've got Long Fangs, 2 Las, 3 Rockets, Pack Leader, and then Wolfguard Pack Leader, Cyclone Missile Launcher, Wolf Claw, Stormbolter. Over here, we've got my other newly painted Whirlwind. This one today is going to have the Vengeance round, so the Strength 7, AP 1, 2 damage, I think, against Death Guard. That's where it's got to be. Alright, so that's my 1500 point list of newly painted Wolfguard. I've painted up a heap of new troops in these 3 new ones in the centre. I did a Tactica video, so if you're interested in a lot of this newer stuff, just go check out that. I go through in detail why I've chosen it for the army. This army comes in at 9 command points, because 8 for the battalion, and then Bjorn gives us 1 extra for being old as dirt. Alright then, we'll go over and we'll have a look at the Death Guard. So, pretty straightforward. 2 HQs, Demon Prince, 2 Malefic Talons, Miasma of Pestilence. Then we've got the Warlord next to him. We've got a Lord in Terminator armor, Bale Sword, Combi Plasma, and he's got the Fulgaris helm, and I think it's Arch Contaminator, the one that lets him reroll Plague Weapon wounds. Then we've got for troops 1, 2, 3 5-man units of Plague Marines with 2 grenades in it. Then we've got each champion has a plasma gun and the rest have bolt guns. Going back here, elites, 2 Foul Blightspawn, never leave home without them. They do massive damage. Fast Attack, 3 Myphetic Blighthors, all is armed same. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers with Death Spitters on them. So, they're the 2 lists. This Death Guard list comes in at 8 command points. So we've got the new Space Wolves, Saga of the Beast style, taking on the tried, true and tested, battle-hardened Death Guard. Alright, we'll get back to you in a minute when we roll up a mission. Okay guys, the battle has been rolled up. We've rolled up Beachhead. So, from the centre of the battlefield, which is Nurgle's Plague Garden by the looks of things, it's all pussed out. So it seems we've rolled up Beachhead and there's Nurgle's Garden in the middle. The Space Wolves are obviously looking to push forward, crush through these pox-infested, disease-ridden bad guys. So, that's the centre objective in the garden. The Space Wolves one is under here, under a pack of all different units down there. And then if we come across around here, the Death Guard have placed theirs here. So Jakey Boy put it here because he figured with the death bubble that he's created, it's easier to hold these objectives moving forward. So that was his plan. So we'll go through the deployment. So Jake's set up first and currently has the first turn. So he's set up here, all 3 troops units at the front, Foul Blight spawns in there, Terminator Lord, Demon Prince, Myphetic Blight Haulers. So all in one big blob here, then coming across the other side, sort of on the other side, outflanking. Once again, he's put the tanks. So he's up to his old tricks. It's already looking a little bit familiar here to me, so I'm already on the back foot here. Alright, coming back around to the Space Wolf side of things. So, first things first, I've put the unit of Blood Claws in the hunt. I think it's outflank. They're in outflank. So I've paid 1 command point to put them in outflank. Then starting here, we've got the Wolf and Dreadnought. Coming across up here, getting a nice overarching view over the Death Garden. We've got our Long Fangs with all their heavy weaponry. Coming down here, we've got Ragnar Blackmane and a unit of Grey Hunters ready to come running through these walls straight over into here. We've got our Whirlwind at the back, ready to fire missiles up and rain death from above. Over here, in front of Bjorn, we've got the Intercessors. Then we got Bjorn behind them. We got Njal here, ready to support these Thunderwolf Cav, which are ready to just gallop straight down the battlefield into this. So, Jake currently has the first turn, so I would like to seize the initiative here in the centre garden. That is a 1, so that's the complete opposite of 6. So, it'll be Jake's first turn, so Death Guard will be kicking this thing off. We'll get back to you at the end of this and see if I have any Space Wolves left. This is already off to a bit of a grim start, but I think we'll fight through it. Alright guys, at the end of Death Guard turn 1, it's been reasonable. It's mainly just movement, so let's start over here. So Jakey Boy had all his tanks here. He's just pushed them forward to create like a centre presence around this. They moved. They weren't in range with any of their flamers, but they actually managed to shoot off their cannons on top and their little stubbers at the front, and managed to kill 2 of the Long Fangs, so a rocket and the pack leader. Over here, these guys here were out of range of firing at anything and couldn't see through this building, but everything else here shot over into these Thunderwolves and done nothing. Everything bounced off their Storm Shields. I guess that's how Storm Shields be. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work, but when they rounds like that, it's not good. So we had rockets, melter guns, grenade launchers, plasma guns, everything firing over into them, and nothing. He managed to cast Miasma of Pestilence on these guys as well, as they're the closest front unit to these guys. If they do manage to get the charge off, they'll be the neg 1 to hit. So that was it for the first turn for the Death Guard. Still holding this objective, right up close onto this one, and managed to kill a couple of wolves. No first strike though, so let's get back to you at the end of the Space Wolves turn 1 and see if we can't turn it up. Alright, end of Space Wolves turn 1, and what has happened? We have done some serious damage here. So, there was a Plague Burst Crawler here. Now, firstly, we'll go through movement. So these guys are all the way up here now, as you can see. These guys have just moved out. These guys have moved to here, and these guys are all the way up in here. Now, back to what I was saying, in the Psychic phase, sorry. Njal cast a neg 1 to hit on one unit, failed it, and then smited and done a few wounds, killed some guys over here. Shooting phase, this thing here, shot over here, killed a Plague Marine over here. These guys here fired down into the Plague Burst Crawler and took a few wounds off it. Shooting wise, that was about it. The rest of it was pretty ineffective. It was mainly these guys, the Whirlwind, so the heavy support stuff. Bjorn shot into the Myphetic blight haulers, but didn't do anything there. So after this plague burst crawl was softened up a bit, we had Ragnar run in there and just took to it. He cut down the vehicle single-handedly. I think he took something like he did like 14 wounds or something to it, because I did the I think it's Call of the Wild and the reroll wounds, which is Seeking a Saga. So he did a heap of wounds on it, and then obviously they're 2 damage apiece. Absolutely brutal. Then he allows units to consolidate 6. So this Grey Hunters pack was able to consolidate into this unit, which, as you can see, they started off in here, moved to here, charged here, then because of him, they're all the way up here. They're not far from his 12-inch line, so that just goes to show that already Ragnar is proving very, very useful. Over here, these guys come running up here. They've killed 9 Plague Marines. They lost 1 wound in return, because they got to attack second due to the Foul Blight spawns. And I consolidated into this Foul Blight spawn, staying away from some of this other stuff because I didn't want them to get free attacks on me. So we've carved a big swath through here. Really happy with the Wolf Claws. They put in quite a bit of work. Rerolls to wound is a great thing. So, alright, that's me done. So first strike. And good board control at this point. No one's in the centre here, but we've got 2 flanking forces fighting up the sides. So we'll get back to Death Guard turn 2 and see what they can do. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 2, and they have decided to show that they are not messing around. So what's happened? Right, first things first, this thing backed out of combat and went that way. This one stood within range, flamed over here, killed 2 Grey Hunters. Well, all the weapons on this shot into this unit, killed 2 Grey Hunters. This unit here stepped around the corner and deleted the 5-man intercessor squad. They're no longer there. So grenades, plasma and bolt rounds from here, obliterated. Squad gone. Must have been because they were freshly off the paint rack. Then a bit of shooting and combination around here, so not from this unit. Use Papa Nurgle's Blessings to bring one of these guys back. One of these stepped out of combat. The other one super jizzed into these guys. And then these guys shot into them and also assaulted them and killed 3 Thunderwolves. So there's only 2 of them left in there. The Thunderwolves aimed all their attacks back at the Demon Prince and didn't do a single wound. So that was not good for that round of combat. But that's how the cookie crumbles. So they've done quite a bit of damage back here, killing an entire unit of Intercessors, killing some Grey Hunters, killing a heap of Thunderwolves, and generally lowering the amount of stuff I have to hit back with. So we'll get on to Space Wolves turn 2 and see if I can make them pay for killing the Intercessor squad. The other boys aren't going to like them much now that they didn't show how battle hardened they were. Alright. Alright, end of Space Wolves turn 2, let's go through it. So, first things first, all the heavy support at the back here, Whirlwind, Longfangs, shot over here, took a few wounds off the Plague Burst Crawler. The big guy here ran in and cleaved it in half. Ragnar was also in that combat, but the big fella managed to finish it off, so these guys just consolidated moving forward. Ragnar moved a bit into the terrain. These guys here just sort of sat and took this centre objective. Bjorn moved over to here and also shot at that Plague Burst Crawler, but didn't do much. Niall managed to run all the way over here. He cut his way through a couple of Plague Marines and consolidated into these guys. When he consolidated in, though, he lost 3 wounds. Over here, these guys beat down, they interrupted combat with the Demon Prince, and they killed the Thunderwolves down to the Thunderhammer, left on 1 wound. Now, he hit the Demon Prince back, took 2 wounds off him, but then these guys gobbled him up. The Blood Claws came in over on this side as well, but failed their charge coming through here. The idea was, because you can't see through this, I was going to charge through there, and these Foul Blight spawns wouldn't have been able to get line of sight, but managed to pull it off anyway. So, at the end of the Space Wolves turn 2, because they've held this objective in theirs, they hold the objective in the centre, plus first strike. They're on 4 points, and The Death Guard over here still hold their objective because they've got more models near it. So they're currently on 1 point. So we'll have Death Guard turn 3. They've freed up the Demon Prince and done another few things here. They are getting quite a bit of an arse whooping here, but that doesn't mean the game's over. They've been in worse situations. So we'll get back to you at the end of Death Guard turn 3. Alright, Death Guard turn 3 done. What have they done here? Alright, so this thing come over here, flamed in, killed a heap of Grey Hunters. There's only one left. It's the Terminator. He passed his morale. He's all good. These guys in here surrounded Niall and just pumped him, just fucked him up. But before these guys charged in, they melted the Dreadnought that was behind here with their melter guns. And then they frag missiled over here and killed 3 Blood Claws. So these Myophatic Blighthauls just killed a Dreadnought, killed Niall, and killed 3 Blood Claws in one turn. Alright. Then the Demon Prince charged over here and he took 4 wounds off Ragnar. Then Ragnar smacked into him and took 3 back off him. It was just as I feared. So Ragnar, without the reroll to wounds, fighting anything tough like this, he'll get all his hits in, but he won't get too many wounds through, and that was the case in this situation. But that's okay, so he's best off on your turn, but hey, we're learning as we're using him. So they've got a full battle tank here, they've done all this, and they've held this objective here, and they're now in the centre here, contesting this middle one, so because this troop's not close enough. So they've actually hit back really hard and have a lot of good solid units on the table this the end of this round. So the Space Wolves have lost a lot of casualties now. They've lost a lot of casualties. So we'll get back to Space Wolves turn 3 and hopefully the assault phase can turn this shit up to 11. Alright. Alright, end of Space Wolves turn 3 and we've smashed up some carnage. So, Heavy Sport Longfangs, Whirlwind, and Bjorn blew away the Plague Burst Crawler was here with shooting. Then Bjorn ran in here and just absolutely minced the Demon Prince, putting something like 12 wounds or something on him. It was ridiculous. Just carved him up. Then over here, the Blood Claws come charging out of this building and attack this guy. They only took 3 wounds off him, but there's a significant thing that's happened here. So, we've held our back objective worth 1 point. We've held the centre objective worth 2 points. And because this is a troops choice, we held theirs. So, the Space Wolves racked up 6 points this turn. So, Space Wolves are on 10 and the Death Guard are only on 2. But the Death Guard is still on the table. So, we're not just going to quit the game right now. We're going to keep it going. They're about to go into their turn 4. I must say on the combat, so we went into the combat doctrine. The extra AP was handy. I didn't, out of all my units, roll 1 exploding 6, which was a bit disappointing. So I think it'll be one of them things where you'll have games where it just goes off and then other games where it won't do much. But hey, it's something. Alright, we'll get back to yours at the end of Death Guard turn 4. End of Death Guard turn 4, and they've managed to kill all the Blood Claws that were here and reclaim their objective. They came over here. They killed Ragnar with melter guns and rockets. Then this guy spooged all over the guy that was on the objective, killed him. Then these guys ran in and attacked Bjorn. They took a few wounds off him. And then when it was his turn to attack back, those exploding 6s I was talking about come through and he just ripped 2 of them in half. That's pretty insane considering these things are 8 wounds with a 5 up in Von Save and Feel No Pain. 8 wounds each, so he killed 16 wounds under that context. So, massive. So, we'll go on to Space Wolves turn 4. These guys are now on 3 points, we're on 10 points. And see if we can't mop up the rest of this bloody scum. Alright, we'll get back to you at the end of my next turn with these wolves. Alright, so all the Space Wolves could do here at the end of their turn 4 was combat, because Bjorn was in combat with this thing. These guys were all back here with all this heavy firepower. These guys are all characters. But as you can see, Bjorn has single-handedly ripped through the last Myophatic Blight Hauler And then I've put him in a position where no matter which way he gets shot at, he's at least going to get cover. So we'll let the Death Guard go on because I think it's only fair because the Space Wolves are on 13 points and they're on 3. So they cannot win the game at this point. So we'll just see if they can take out Bjorn for a bit of a moral victory and get the Warlord and go from there. So we'll get back to his after he's attempted to kill this mammoth of a battle machine and see what happens. Alright guys, at the end of the Death Guard turn, there's still one guy left, but it's not enough. We've hit the end of the game. So, 2 spooge guns shot at him, overcharged plasma from the Warlord, everything you can name it. Ran in, combat, the whole lot. They took him down to 1 wound. He killed one of the foul blight spawns on the way in with his las cannons. Then the second one, he missed, but that was okay, he got in, and then the Warlord got in. But then he split his attacks, same thing again, rolled 6s, rolled some zings, cut down the Warlord. This guy managed to get out of it unscathed though. But that's it. So, here's the game. And funnily enough, we just discussed, me and Jakey boy, that these 2 guys in the middle are our men of the match. First things first I want to say is that Ragnar Blackmane was good, but he's still no Bjorn. Bjorn is where it's at. If you're running Space Wolves, get yourself Bjorn. He's the full package. Like tough 8 Dreadnought with Feel No Pain. You got your las cannons on him. You got your heavy flamer. You've got a fucking strength 12 claw that's AP4 that rerolls hits and wounds. D6 damage. It's just insane. These things here, once again, every time they're on the battlefield, foul blight spawn, they just do work. It's the way it is. So I think as we discussed, the thing that let the Death Guard down a bit is something that people brought up on the channel before, not being able to spread out as much and take objectives. That's hurt them a little bit this game, but that doesn't really matter. That just shows that that is one of the weaknesses of the army in a points game. In terms of damage output, all that's left on the battlefield for the Space Wolf is Bjorn, a half-wrecked squad of these guys, and the whirlwind behind that building. So damage output wise, they had no problem fighting the Space Wolves. Really good to test out this new Space Wolves Saga of the Beast. Hope you enjoyed it, and it was good to test it against an army that is really tough, so it was good. Hope you like this, like and subscribe, and we'll get back to you with more content. We'll keep it coming, mate. Alright, enjoy.